All right, today we're going to dive into a concept that's as old as history itself. But trust me, it's as relevant as your very next team meeting. We're talking about the subtle, often invisible dynamics of power. And we're starting with the first, and maybe the most important, of the 48 laws of power. Never outshine the master.
Seriously, think about it. You're doing amazing work, you're efficient, you're bringing incredible ideas to the table, but instead of getting praised, you suddenly feel this weird chill from your boss. Maybe your best work starts getting overlooked, or your career path just hits a wall out of nowhere. It's a super frustrating and honestly a really confusing place to be.
But what if I told you it isn't actually about you doing something wrong? What if it's all about an unspoken rule of the game that you didn't even know you were breaking? See, the problem isn't your talent. It's how your talent is being seen by the people above you. So in this explainer, we're not just going to break down this huge law of power. We're also going to explore the stories, both from way back in history and from today, that make this rule so powerful and, well, timeless. And there it is, law number 1. It's pretty blunt, I know, and it might even feel a little unfair. The main idea is that you have to always make the people in charge feel comfortably superior. It's not about being less talented. It's about being way more strategic. To really get this law, you have to see that it works on 2 different levels. You've got the core idea itself, right? But then you've got the feeling of how it plays out in real life. We need to see how this idea actually shapes our interactions, from that feeling of struggle all the way to finding a new, motivated approach. You know, at its heart, this whole law isn't really about office politics or kings and queens. It's about psychology. It's about that deep-seated, sometimes fragile ego that we all have, especially when we're in a position of power. So, what happens when that insecurity gets triggered? What happens when a person in power starts to feel, outshined? Well, the fallout can be quick and it can be pretty severe. And that is the real danger right there. Your talent, your brilliant idea, your efficiency, it might not be seen as a good thing for the team. It can be seen as a direct threat to the person in charge. And in the world of power, threats get neutralized.
Let's look at a classic example here. King Louis XIV of France, the Sun King. This guy loved talent. But you know what he loved more? The spotlight. He brought in the best and the brightest people. But if any one of them started shining a little too brightly or got a bit too popular, the king would find a way to subtly, but definitely, dim their light, just to make sure he was still the only sun in the sky.
This was all about presentation for him. Every single interaction was a performance. His whole court was designed to make sure all the attention, and therefore all the control, was pointed right at the throne.
Okay, now let's bring this into our world, the modern workplace trap. Picture this. You see your boss make a tiny mistake in a big meeting, and you correct them. You think you're being helpful, right? But what they feel is public embarrassment. What they hear is, "I know more than you." And the result? Suddenly, you're not getting those cool projects anymore. Your career just stalls, and you're left wondering why.
This is the quiet danger of this law. The backlash isn't always a big, dramatic firing. A lot of the time, it's just the sound of doors quietly closing. It's your career path just getting narrower and narrower, leaving you stuck. So that's the problem. It's a dangerous game. But this law isn't just a warning. It's also a guide to playing the game a whole lot smarter. It's time to stop falling into the trap and start using this strategy. And this right here is a complete flip of our natural instincts. Your goal isn't to show off how brilliant you are. Your new goal is to use your brilliance to make them look brilliant. So, how do you actually do this? Well, it's surprisingly simple. Publicly, you give them credit for a great idea. When you present your work, you frame it as just carrying out their great vision. You show respect for their experience. These little things build a huge foundation of security and trust. And when you switch your whole approach from competition to support, the entire dynamic just changes. The tension breaks. Instead of walking through a minefield of ego, you're now building a bridge of trust. And look, this isn't about submitting or being a pushover. It's about gaining a massive hidden advantage. A secure boss is a generous boss. They stop seeing you as a threat and start seeing you as their most valuable player. They trust you, they give you more responsibility, and they give you room to grow, because now your success makes them look good too. This is how you flip a limitation into a massive opportunity. By managing how people see you, you create the space for your own talent to really shine.
Not by fighting against power, but by having its full support. The path forward becomes so much clearer.
All right, let's bring this all home. What is the final, most important lesson here for mastering your own impact?
And this is so important to understand. Never outshine the master does not mean be average. No way. Work hard, be brilliant, get better at your skills, but be incredibly smart about how you package and present those skills to the world.
So let's just run through the big takeaways. Don't make people in power feel insecure. Show respect, make them feel valued, and remember that smart strategy often beats raw talent, because at the end of the day, power is all about understanding human emotions and ego.
And that's really the ultimate lesson here. Power isn't just about your actions or your talent. It's about perception. It's about the story your actions are telling, and more importantly, how that story makes other people feel.
So I'll leave you with a question to chew on. When you navigate the world with this knowledge, making those above you feel secure so that you can advance, where do you draw the line between being strategic and being manipulative? That's something for you to decide.